Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Trigonometry part 13. Of course, like I said, we'll be just opposing it with other topics for trigonometry 1 or 2, and then we'll pick another topic so that, we can, will not be feeling bored. So, trigonometry part 13. This is just to show you the sine graph, the cosine graph, the tangent graph. Though I've been able to share questions on other parts just to make it easier and relatable easily. So this is very simple. So you have your y-axis, you have your x-axis. What is representing the x-axis is maybe sine theta, cos theta, or tan theta. Okay, and of course we still have one other part in the trigonometric one, which is part 14. Okay, we're going to talk about how we can plot graphs. Okay, I'll just give you an hint how you can plot graphs on them, when you're writing your exams or your class test or thereabout. So, so from this part now, for the first one, y equals sine theta. So if you look at it very well, my theta can range from, this is inequality sign. We call this inequality sign. When we get to inequality, you understand better. So this means that 0 degree is less than equals to theta, is less than equals to what? 360. That is, it means that theta ranges from 0 to 360. That is the meaning. So theta ranges from 0 to what? 360. So let's assume there was no equal sign here. This is less than sign. This is less than sign. Let's assume there is no equal sign here. So it means that anything above 0, but it's not equal to 0. That's the meaning. So, but in this case, 0 degree is less than equals to theta, is less than equals to what? 360 degree. So from here, it's very simple. What does that mean? It means that my theta equals can be equals to, now you can pick any interval you want. If you want to plot your sine graph, okay, you can pick any value of theta you want, but it's advisable that the range should not be too much. Okay, so I can say my theta can be 0 degree. Okay, I can say 30 degree. Okay, I can say 60 degree, then I can say 90 degree. That is, it's increasing by 30, 30, 30. So then I can also say 120 degree, then I can say 150 degree. Okay, I can say 180 degree, like that. So you can continue to increase it until you get to 360. Okay, very simple. What do you just need to do? Just come here. Theta is equals to 0. Come here and put y is equals to sine 0. Okay, so the first thing you just need to do is that put your y equals to what? Sine 0. So when your y is equals to sine 0, press your calculator. What is the value? So all you just need to do is just that you already know what your y is. So it means that for the first one, I can say y equals what? Sine 0 degree. Okay, that's the first value. Then if I get my y, I already know what my x is going to be. So if I'm putting my theta to be 0 degree, I can know that, okay, this place is already 0 degree. Okay, so theta is already 0 degree here. So I can just leave, you can leave, it depends on your graph. You can leave 5 lines, you can leave 10 lines, but make sure each of those lines, know the value of each of those lines. Let's assume this one is what? 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have another 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm only assuming it's 5 lines. Sometimes you can leave 10 lines. 3, 4, 5. Do you see now? So this is my 0 degree. Okay, so at 0 degree, what is my y? So all you just need to do, you see that sine theta always pass through the origin. Sine theta, y equals sine. They can ask you which one of the following represents sine graph, like the way I've shared the question. So just know that sine theta always pass through what? 0 degree. Only always pass through zero origin. You understand? So let's assume this is my, my theta value. I've said this is my y, okay, and this is my theta, okay, that which represents x. So this one is what? Let's say this one is 30 degree, okay. Let's say this one is what? 60 degree. Let's say this one is what? 90 degree, like that, like that. Okay. I'm only just assuming, I'm explaining how you can draw a sine graph. So now I know my theta to be 0. What is my y? I want to get my y. I go and put y equals sine 0. What is the value? You can press your calculator to do that because it's permitted. Because most times you always see plot of graph in theoretical parts for those sitting for GCE, SSC, WAEC, NECO, and things like that. So you always see plotting of graph in theoretical part. So part 14, I will explain how you plot a good graph, okay, so that you can get it once and for all. So now from here, this is y equals 0. Then for you to get another y equals sine what? 30 degree. So what is the value of y? Sine 30 is what? Half, if I'm not mistaken. So sine 30 is half. All you just need to do, go and trace half here. You go and trace where half is here. So this one too, you also follow 5 lines or 10 lines. It depends on how you want it. Okay, but just know if this one from here to here is 30, what is the value of each line? Okay, that is what you should know. You can divide it by 5. So 30 divided by 5. So if I want to know the value of each of this line here, it's 5 lines. I will say 30 divided by 5, and that is what? 6. So it means each of this line is 6. 6 plus 6, 12. 12 plus 6, 18. 18 plus 6, like that. So that is the meaning. 6 times 5, 30. Okay? So that is the meaning of that. So that's each of this line is 6. So that is that. Then it means that you can go ahead and start plotting your graph. When it's sine 30, I'll come and locate my half here. So I can say this one, 2, 3, 4, 5. The same thing. It's either you use 10 or 5, but make sure you know each of the line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is that. So all my value, I'll now be tracing it out here since I know each line. If this one is half, I'll come and locate half here. Okay. Now, if I say my y equals what? 60. So my s equals 60. Then I'll now say sine what? 60 degree. What is my value? You press your calculator. When you press your calculator, you come and trace your y here. From here, if this place is 30, trace your 30 up, you trace it up, trace it to where you can see the value of half on y-axis. So the same thing apply. If your y equals what? 60, you trace it and see what the value is going to give you on y-axis. So, but just note that for every sine graph, sine theta graph, okay, sine theta graph s, okay, this is 0 origin, pass through the what? Origin. So just know that that is shortcut. So if you want to know that for every x, for every sine graph, it pass through the origin. For every sine graph, it pass through the origin. So now I don't need to say much about cos theta because I've explained. So the same thing apply for cos theta. For every cos theta, the highest value you can get in cos theta is what? 1. Okay, 1. Like I said, for every sine graph, it pass through the origin, which is so. So for every cos theta, the first it pass through the what? It does not pass through the origin. It pass through what? 1. That is the maximum for every cos theta. Just ordinary cos theta, not 2 cos theta, not 3 cos theta, not cos 2 theta. For every cos theta, it pass through the what? So this one is what? Cos. That is 1. That is so C1. Okay. If you want to know it's S pass through the origin, cos theta pass through what? 1. Okay. So that is that about y equals what? Cos theta, and y equals what? Sine theta. So for cos theta, you can also pick 30-30 difference, 0 degree, 30 degree, 60 degree, 90 degree, like that. So like the way I explained in sine theta, know the value of each line. Are you using 10 lines? Are you using 5 lines? So if you want to get each line, just divide the degree by the number of each line you are using, which is like the one of sine theta is 30 divided by 6, or 30 divided by 5 rather. So 6, it means each line is 6. So the same thing applies to what? Tan theta. Okay? You can pick your value from 0 to what? You can pick your value from 0 to 360. It can be 30-30 difference. It can be 20-20 difference. So let's assume I want to pick for y now to be what? 20 difference. So it means that if my 0 degree less than equals to theta, less than equals to what? 360 degree. So it means that my theta will now be, I can say 0 degree, 20 degree, 40 degree, 60 degree, like that. So my y will now be what? Tan 0, which is the first one. That's y1. My y2 can also be what? Tan what? 20 degree. Okay. My y3 can also be what? Tan what? 40 degree. So like that. So by the time you plot the graph, you see that this graph is different from cosine and what? Sine graph. So by the time you plot the graph, you see that at the end of the day, you get this pattern. Okay, you get this pattern for your graph. So it's very simple. You see that one runs from up to through the origin to down. Okay, so you can see, so you can use this shortcut of so c1. Okay, then you can just know that tan theta has different kind of pattern. Very simple and it's straightforward. So I needed to touch base with this because it comes out in the objective. Okay, so it's very simple. It's just like chin chin and pure water. Please continue to like, continue to comment, continue to share, so that we can reach a lot of young minds. Thank you very much. Cheers.